Why Jake Gyllenhaal loved filming intimate scenes with Anne Hathaway. Easily considered to be one of the most successful actors of her generation, Anne Hathaway has starred in many movies that made a fortune. On top of that, Hathaway has received a slew of accolades, including an Academy Award. Also an incredibly accomplished actor, Jake Gyllenhaal has cemented his legacy by being associated with actors like Heath Ledger, Tom Holland, and Hathaway. On top of working with Hathaway helping Gyllenhaal's career, he has also admitted how much he enjoyed filming revealing scenes with her. Did Jake Gyllenhaal like filming intimate scenes with Anne Hathaway? In 2005, Brokeback Mountain came out starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger with Anne Hathaway in a supporting role. Roughly 5 years later, Gyllenhaal and Hathaway reunited to star in the romantic comedy-drama film Love Other Drugs. In both of those movies, Gyllenhaal and Hathaway appear in intimate scenes with one another. In fact, Love Other Drugs features a slew of scenes in which the two actors show off almost every inch of their bodies. In 2010, when Love Other Drugs was being released, Gyllenhaal was taking part in a press conference. During the resulting conversation, Gyllenhaal was completely forthright about how much he enjoyed filming intimate scenes with Hathaway. "I recommend getting in bed with Anne Hathaway to any man. I'm lucky. I have had brief cinematic sex with her in Brokeback Mountain and again a number of times in Love and Other Drugs. There's something about the way Annie and I both work that is inherently very musical. It's all about rhythm. There's a rhythm to writing, there's a rhythm to sports, and there's a rhythm to sex." Also in November 2010, Gyllenhaal spoke to GQ about filming revealing scenes with Hathaway. During that interview, Gyllenhaal revealed that preparing to film intimate scenes with Hathaway made the two actors closer friends. "We talked about what we thought was sexy, about what were the things that interested us, and through the discussion became pretty intimate with each other." Gyllenhaal also explained that he and Hathaway had similar processes for the filming of intimate scenes. "There's something about the way Annie and I both work which is inherently very musical. It's all about rhythm. There's a rhythm to writing, there's a rhythm to sports, there's a rhythm to sex." Finally, Gyllenhaal stated that there was a lot of revealing footage of the actors that was left on the cutting room floor. "I was naked a lot in the movie. I was naked in more of it than was even in the final cut. A director's cut? I don't even know how that would be rated." How Anne Hathaway felt about her intimate scenes with Jake Gyllenhaal. In 2010, Anne Hathaway sat down with Vogue to discuss the film Love Other Drugs. During that conversation, Hathaway spoke about how upsetting filming scenes in the buff with Jake Gyllenhaal always was for her. "This movie certainly has a lot of nerve. These are people who have no trouble taking their clothes off in a way, their bodies are their currency. But they're terrified of exposing their vulnerability, of becoming emotionally naked." Hathaway continued, "I was a wreck from start to finish. I think I cried every single day. I had to lean so much more heavily on everyone around me than I'm used to. I'm used to pulling my own weight, but I totally fell apart." Around that same time, Entertainment Weekly interviewed Anne Hathaway, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Love Other Drugs director Edward Zwick together. During that interview, the conversation almost entirely focused on what it was like filming the movie's intimate scenes. As that interview progressed, Hathaway brought up a topic that most moviegoers rarely think about. As Hathaway explained, filming intimate scenes can cause actors to suffer a lot of little injuries. "On one take you swung me into the pot. The lack of clothing meant that there wasn't a lot of padding, so I was constantly bruised. That scene that you were just describing? I had a welt on my knee." Hathaway also spoke about how things can go wrong, causing actors to be more exposed than they planned. Talking about the sheet not being placed just so, "Jake and I were in this amazing take, and he turned and caught the sheet and pulled it off me. And I wasn't going to yell cut. I just thought, go with it, Hathaway. If it was theater, you would go with it. And I did. And of course that is the take that is in the movie." During that same conversation, the interviewer asked Gyllenhaal and Hathaway if they spent hours together wearing nothing but a little patch. After Gyllenhaal confirmed that was the case, Hathaway explained, "It's very strong tape." While all those revelations are fascinating, something else Hathaway spoke about was even more interesting. As Hathaway explained, she didn't feel comfortable exposing so much of herself, but she didn't want to reveal that in front of everyone. "I didn't want to make a big deal about nerves. Of course, there is that revoltingly embarrassing moment when you have to take your clothes off in front of strangers. I mean, I don't go to the beach in a bikini for a reason. As Hathaway went on to explain, at first she thought she'd get over her nerves by being dressed as much as she could. However, the implications of that resulted in Hathaway feeling like that wasn't a realistic possibility. So for me, this role was pretty out there in terms of the way I usually am in public concerning my body. So I thought, okay, I'm going to be in control. I'm going to do everything properly, disrobe at the last minute, and in between shots get the clothes back on. But then I found that every time I put my robe back on, it rubbed all the body makeup off, and that added 20 minutes to filming. Fortunately for Hathaway, she explained that over time, she was able to cope with her nerves better even though they were never gone. As with all things in life, the second you stop making it about you and you make it about everyone else, it just got, dare I say, fun. There wasn't anything to be nervous about. It was another scene.